If you expect the ECB to make a sudden move, it doesn't look like it's going to come from their communication today.
Does not. Will Mario Draghi ever hike? His term ends, what, October of next year?
Yeah.
Not that clear. I mean, I would have said yes probably a couple days ago, but now I think it's looking less and less likely. So very, very sketchy.
Jeff Kleintop, where would you stand on that, the idea that will Draghi never hike?
I think if anywhere in the world you need to see inflation run a little bit hotter than expected for a while to embed those inflation expectations, it's in Europe. Maybe it's in Japan as well, but certainly not an area where you want to move quickly. And there seems to be no reason to do so. We've already seen the Fed hike rates a number of times, and that gap has widened out between policy rates in the U.S. and Europe. And that hasn't caused a huge move in the dollar to the upside, has it? So I think the consequences don't seem that dire to remaining with the current policy.
Jeff, one thing I'm scratching my head over is how you really adequately capture the turnaround of the European economy. Sure, the Eurozone economy is looking better. It's in the data. We can see that. But how do you capture it in risk assets? How do I get that exposure in the equity market?
You know, financials seem to be an area that are very much exposed to what's happening in Europe and what's happening with better growth. We know we've got some loan numbers that aren't great in Italy, in lots of parts of Southern Europe. We've got industrial growth concentrated in Germany and other parts there. All of that seems to be firing right now. So that's a good way, I think, whether it's through the financials, maybe industrials as well, a good way to focus on what's working in Europe and what may continue to work. A lot of the world's stock market in the financial sector concentrated in Europe.